Hello there, everybody.
Hello, hello. Today we have something a little different for you. We have some footy from a session we did.
Yeah.
A little power clean, and then based off the power cleans and issues that we had during it, we did some accessory work.
Yeah, exactly. And we're going to talk through what we did, our warm up, what we were trying to do with the squat cleans, and then, like you said, what we decided to do afterwards to help us with the mistakes we made or why we failed or whatnot. But
so how we prime our bodies for this?
So this one thing I love is the priming part of it, because it's a little bit more fun than doing the actual work. But we did ball throws in the air.
Yeah.
So starting at the ground, throwing the ball or a slam ball straight up in the air, just letting it come down, and did 3 sets of those with just some RDLs just to warm up the hamstrings. But the reason we did those was to get our central nervous system ready to be explosive. So that's essentially by picking the ball up, not a crazy heavy ball, but picking the ball up, throwing it in the air, you're getting it's an explosive movement up towards the sky, and it mimics what the exercise, what we're going to do. So it mimics the triple extension, the explosive hip movement that we need for the actual exercise coming up. So that was why we did that.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at. It's like you want your warm up to look exactly or as close to what you're about to do as possible.
And it's just a minimized version of it. So and I love doing those because they're fun. First of all, see how high you can throw the ball, you know, and they get you going as well. So like the first time you got to do an explosive movement, you feel good.
Yeah. You get a little feedback too. Like when I was throwing the ball, it's like my right arm's pretty active, my left arm a little sore.
Yeah.
So you can choose to do a little bit more for that left one if you wanted to. So it lets you know that before you load weight on the bar and you are trying to catch it,
Yeah, exactly.
Catch it early. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And then with that we did a little bit of mobility stuff as well. Remember we did the banded lat / shoulder activation just to get that going. And that again, it's just to make sure that's that catching position, that racking position that a lot of people struggle to get into. Like just doing a little bit of activation for that really helps when you're pulling a weight that you can't. That'll be hard to hold there, that you're ready to catch it there. Yeah.
Poor wrist, they get a bad rep.
I know, exactly. Everyone, it hurts my wrist,
Yeah.
It's your lats, baby.
Lats are tight.
You be tight as a monk.
You're doing pull-ups and lat pull-downs.
Everything.
Rows the day before, and you're like, I don't know why I can't get up here.
Yeah.
It's like trying to do heavy bench press and squat the next day.
Yeah.
It's like, how are you gonna get your arms back there?
Exactly, because they're already
tightened up.
Yeah. Exactly. But yeah, that's something that those are all really important, that make that the goal exercise easier. And that's what we did, and from there we moved into some
power clean squat.
Squat cleans. Yeah. So power squat cleans, I guess. Yeah. But so the goal for the workout was you only really started doing them a little more. So for the first few weeks we worked on just form with him, and then from there we the goal of our workout this week was to get to the heaviest you can do with the form ability you have right now, so we can use that as for a strength cycle going forward. So the goal was to get to a heavy 1 rep. Yeah. And which we did.
We got there pretty quick.
Yeah, it got there pretty quick. But at the same time, everyone has their own their own boundaries, and I may be more experienced than you with that, so I do a heavier weight, and you're just learning how to do it. So it's all part of it. And what the way we built to it was with small jumps. We started with lightweight for 3 reps, just getting just the warm up, just getting the movements correct, feeling right, where maybe we don't feel that great at the bottom of the front squat or the front rack position. So just maybe pausing down there for a minute, just get a little bit of loosening out in there, just getting your body used to it, the central nervous system used to that position. And then from there, we just slowly built and added weight. So we went from 3 reps to 2 reps to 1 rep. So it was pretty, like I said, it was pretty quick to get there. But if you're wanting to hit a 1 rep max, there's no point in doing 1,000 reps before you get to your 1 rep max. So that's why I like to go 3 reps with minimum weight, a little bit more at 2 reps. Maybe do 2 rounds of 2 reps just to get the blood flowing a little bit better and the central nervous system ready. and then 1 rep's just building up weight, just getting to the point to where like, oh, I failed it. You know what I mean?
I think the big thing too is doing 1 rep of anything at max weight has always been rough for me.
Yeah, that's right.
I need 1 bad rep to then do a second good rep.
Exactly. Yeah.
And we saw that too in one of my like the last attempt I had. I tried to pull 145. It didn't get anywhere close, and then immediately I went to go pull it again, and then I got closer.
Yeah, and I think we talked about that a little bit. It's just getting used to that weight. Like the first time I do it, I always like when you get to the point where you know that I might not be able to do this, I might fail this. There are certain weights that are in your head. You're like, oh, I know I can do this no matter what.
Yeah.
Like whether I'm warm, cold, whatever. There's some weights that they're locked down in your head. Whereas then when you start getting to those 80%, 85%, 90%, that's when you like might need to see what it feels like. So you hit it, you may fail. Like it may be only 80%, but you may fail it because you weren't prepared, or you didn't think that you thought it might be a little easier than it was, and it wasn't. And then you go to do it again, you hit it.
Yeah.
That happened to me a couple of times, or I think once at least in there where I hit. I think it was like 235. I didn't hit it, and then I waited a minute and I just went and did it again, and I did it, and it was easy. It's just, and again, like with these movements are so complex that one little thing being off, like not getting under it enough, you didn't get it all the way onto your shoulder into the rack position. If it's a little bit in front of you can't hold that weight there, so you got to get it under. But so just the repetition of getting through it, and it's like it being such a complex move, like one little thing's off, you're done.
Yeah.
You drop it, you know.
And it goes into like treating lightweight like it's heavy.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Treat heavyweight like it's light.
And like, yeah, I believe in the middle of it, we had already done a bunch of reps, and then we went and did a few with just PVC pipe, just working on the commitment to getting underneath it.
Yeah.
Which is something that, like, one day I just realized how to do it. After doing it for so long, I couldn't get under it, and then one day I just like it just clicked and I did it.
Yeah.
And like it's something that like comes over time, just confidence of moving the weight.
Yeah.
You know, like I think like your last one, the only reason you couldn't do the weight was because you weren't able to commit to getting under it. Like if you could commit to getting under it, you could probably add another 20-30 pounds to each side just by having that ability to get under it. Because I know you can front squat that weight, you know what I mean? And and like I said, they're complex moves that once you figure out how to do that, it's like Tony Hawk doing 900, you know?
Yeah.
Once you did it once, you can do it forever, like, you know?
Yeah. Sometimes the plan is just a line for you.
Yeah. So we did take some notes as we went. So some of the notes I had was that I failed at 235, and then I hit it, and then I hit the next weight, which was 245, and then I failed the last weight, which was 255. So I took some big jumps, or not big jumps there, but like 10-pound jumps. And then the other note was, let's see, so Shane failed at 145.
Yep.
And then you hit 135, right? And that was the last one where you failed you failed just because not being able to commit to get underneath it. So yes, like we said. But so some of the progression exercises or the like accessory exercises we did. So let's just talk about those for a few minutes. So Shane having that problem with getting under it, or not necessarily getting under it, but like getting him into a position that where he would be used to being underneath the bar there. So we did some pause front squats. So whatever weight he failed at, which I knew that he'd be able, if he could get under it, he'd be able to stand it up. So the problem is the complex part, the getting under it. So we put him in a position where he was doing a pause front squats. So he was doing a front squat, pausing at the bottom of that. And Jesus. Right,
now we got some weed eaters outside.
What's going on?
Hope it doesn't sound too awful for you guys.
I think they're almost done here. They'd be chopping those weeds.
Oh, they said no weeds allowed.
Yeah, I wish you could do my yard. Anyway, so we put Shane in that position where he was at that bottom of that clean, and paused down there for 3 seconds and went up. So you front squat, boom, 3, 2, 1, up, and then we did 3 reps of that. So it focuses on the part of the second half of that exercise, of the clean, the squat clean, that you couldn't get to get better at. You know what I mean?
I think a lot of it too is I just don't squat very often. I will deadlift 18 times before you squat once.
Yeah.
So in my head, I was like, maybe I can't even front squat 145.
Yeah.
We did 3 sets of 3, and
and it was pause squats too.
It wasn't easy, but it was definitely doable.
Yeah.
You know.
And again, and that's just like the best exercise to get better at standing up and clean is a front squat, right? Mm-hmm. So doing those is where you'll build up that strength and go from there. And then the other exercise we had him do was high band rows. So we put the band up high and he sat on the ground and pulled to his chest. And the reason we wanted him to do that was because when he was handling the bar, a lot of the times he was rounding out his back a little bit. So that just comes from not being able to activate your lats as much, like rotating your shoulder blades back. And so we just added that in there just to build strength in those upper back muscles and teaching you how to use the lat muscles differently than you have before. Yeah. And like he's mentioned all day today that his upper back muscles are fucked up.
They're lit up today.
They're lit today. So like most likely that's from those rows, because it's a different angle and it's a different pull. Like you're used to like doing pull down, so it's like literally straight down, or like seated row or something like that, or even like you said deadlifts, it's down from the ground. Whereas this is a completely different angle. It's not a pull down, it's not a row, it's in that middle range to where you hit your traps, your lats, your rear delts, everything. Like so.
One thing I just thought about too is like, now that I'm focusing on my cleans, I want to deadlift with the same width on the bar.
Yeah, exactly.
That way it carries over to, because if you're using different grip, it's not going to carry over directly to.
Yeah, exactly. And again, that'll help you. That'll help you get stronger. Like you'll do a deadlift and then go to do a clean, and you'll be like, oh my god, this is so light, it's crazy. And you just fling it around. It's the same with snatches. If you're doing snatches, doing snatch deadlifts, so first movement in a snatch is a deadlift. So like getting used to pulling the ground, pulling the weight up, that wide grip. Like no, you don't ever deadlift with that, right? So just getting used to doing that movement will help your first movement in your snatch. So like I know we haven't worked on any snatches, but like that's something we can do down the road, and something that like is even more complex. So like getting used to that movement with weight, like it's crazy. Like if by bringing your arms out that much further, how heavy that bar starts to feel.
What's important too with this session was we didn't have everything planned out. We said we're going to squat clean for heavy, 1 rep, and then from there, based off of what we saw in that session, we focused on those weaknesses. So like last week, my issue was popping it up. Using that mid-thigh connection and bringing the bar up. So we went about 110, 120% on the bar, and I just focused on that.
Got you working on those high pulls.
And then but today it wasn't an issue.
Yeah, exactly, because you were able to move it, right?
So then we didn't focus on that. We then focused on front squats.
Exactly, the front squats, the issue of you getting under that bar / not being able to complete the second half of the movement. So. We got to the point where you were able to move the weight but not go under. So what's the problem there? You know what I mean? That's just like, and like I said, it's something that will click eventually, but like it's hard when it's hard to do it if you mentally aren't able to do it, or like see yourself doing it, you know?
For me, like I break things down to the very finest detail. So when we're talking about triple extension, how am I supposed to go up from like a fake jump to being at the bottom of the squat?
I almost
direct opposite.
It's almost like, for me, I see it as like you're jumping. I do jump, like you said, fake jump. For me it's a jump, because that's where I know I get my most power, from my hips to there. So I'll jump, and then my landing process is trying to, like, I won't come back to my feet before I go under. I'll go to here and then collapse under it. But like, so I jump, and then my next time my feet come to the ground, they're going straight down at that, and I'm going under. You know what I mean? So it's like you don't jump and land. You jump and then you're under.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's almost one full movement, and like people, like it takes time to get used to it and know how to do it, and it is hard as well. So, but once it's something that like for me one day it's almost like I accidentally did it. I was like, oh, I know how to do it now. You know what I mean? And then and just like that in the next 2 weeks, my weights have started going up and up and up, and now I've hit that point where it's like now I'm like oh, I can't even front squat anymore. You know what I mean?
Fine tuning.
Yeah. So now I'm just trying to get to the point where I strengthen myself at the bottom of that. Like I probably so after we did it, he did front squat, Paul's front squats, and I just did front squats, where I just did 3 at the weight that I failed at, just to get used to doing that, or like front squat and that. I probably should have done Paul's, because that would have forced me to like at the bottom being able to hold that rack position at the bottom. But
so for you, you're cleaning what, 235?
My PR is like 255.
Right. So what's the move for you to go forward? Form's good, weight's good. So yeah.
Enjoy those protein bars.
Thank you again.
See you later. I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we, my process to get better, I think like I said, Paul's front squats, like my 1 rep max front squat is 300 pounds. So I think some Paul's front squats with me at the bottom of that, with getting used to, like right now where I'm failing is catching it. You know what I mean? So like when that weight's moving, being able to get under it and hold it there, you know, I'm struggling with that. So like how to, I don't know if like, I think Paul's front squats will help, because then I'm in that position, maybe even a little heavier, to where like, so I'm getting used to in that position with heavier weight than my actual weight, you know. Maybe some high pulls as well. Yeah, it's one of those like where you almost got to tinker with it to like find what helps, what doesn't help. And like I've been at that point for a while. For a while I was stuck at 295 for the front squat too, and then eventually I hit I managed to blast through that and hit 300. So yeah, like I said, I think just messing with it here and there, and like that's why it's something that you can't just go away from for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Because you come back here, you're like, how do I do this again?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's something that you've gotta be persistent with it if you want to get better at it. If you want to stay where you're at, fine. You don't have to do it all the time. But if you want to literally get and figuratively get better at it, better at getting under the bar, better at moving the bar, better at getting stronger with it, all that stuff, you have to concentrate on it.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's like a class and a semester. Like you spend 1 semester working on this class and then you're done with it.
Yeah,
right?
You forget everything.
Yeah, exactly.
So we worked our recent 1 rep max, and the purpose of doing that is to be able to work with percentages.
Yes.
So what's the way forward now?
So for the Olympic lifts, a lot of it is you want to stay in like the 70 to 80% range, because that's usually where the weight's heavy, but you can do it. You know what I mean? You can do the weight, but you're in a place where your central nervous system is getting activated. You're moving weight where you'll get stronger, and you can continue to work on form too. So like I would say, like, so for example, if we go to do it tomorrow, for say, so we would probably go like maybe 5 rounds, 5 rounds of like maybe three in a row back to back of like 70%, and then maybe next week we do 70, or whenever next one we do 72%, 73%, or 75%, 78%, then 80%, and then maybe it'd be more comfortable to try hit like a heavier 1 rep again, so where we might bump up to 95, try hit that, and then slowly work to getting to the point where we can go to 100% and then try push past that. I'm sure you may do 95%, and like, that was easy, I can easily do more now, you know, and that's from working on that one, you know.
How often do you retest the 1 rep?
For me, usually, like for example, I with my clients, I usually stick to like a 6 to 8 week range. I don't like going any sooner than that because I think it, like you gotta build towards it, and like you can't build too much in 4 weeks, you know. So doing it in a 6 week increment, 6 to 8 week increments, I think works best. So but with Olympic lifts, because it's not necessarily a cycle thing that I'm doing with individuals. For me, I'm more of the I'll do like 2 weeks of really concentrating like 80% or 70%, and I'm like, oh, I think I can do it, and then I just don't fucking do it because I'm jumping the gun. Whereas I could wait a few weeks and then nail it, you know. So it's in that range, I would say. For that, I could probably go 4 weeks.
Yeah, it's probably experience level too. Like a beginner's gonna see a lot more.
It jumps, yeah.
Improvement.
Yeah.
So 8 weeks at 80% or 70% might be a little long.
Yeah, exactly, and that's just beating a dead horse. And like I said, you could try 95 one day, but that was easy. I can do more. You know what I mean?
And
so
I like that you mentioned with your front squat, you were at 295.
Yeah.
And then when you PR'd, it was 300.
Yeah, it was 5 pounds.
It wasn't 325.
Yeah.
It wasn't 355. When you get to that level, like the smallest.
That's your literally my maximum strength was 295, and I was at it for probably like 6 months where I couldn't get. I tried it a few times, like maybe 3 or 4. Like I did a cycle, like a strength cycle, and cycled through all those percentages: 75, 85, 95, and then I just couldn't hit that 300 marker. And then one day I just hit it, like at the end of a strength cycle, and literally it's what I don't even know what percent that could be. That could be 1%. I got 1% stronger, and it was 5 pounds. You know what I mean? And that was over 6 months. When that's my absolute maximum. But like, for example, if I was doing something where, like, for example, let's use muscle ups or something. Like, not a lot of people do muscle ups, but like once you learn the movement, all right, you got that. Learn how to do little progressions, you'll learn so much faster, and you'll get to the point where eventually you're gonna get to the point where now you just gotta work on volume of being able to do more, because you can maybe do one, but your shoulders are fried after doing one because you had to do the progressions to get there. Whereas now you can do 5 off the bat with only a little bit warm up, but you struggle then to do 6. Whereas now you're going to slowly build to the point where, okay, you can do 30, you can do 50, you know what I mean, in whatever, and just building that volume. And again, like if you can add 1 rep, that's a percentage. Yeah. So, like I said, small progressions or small percentage growth is huge. Yeah. It's like in the Olympics or powerlifting or whatever, like if they go 1% stronger, they could win a gold medal. Yeah. If they go 1% stronger, they hit a gold medal, you know what I mean? Like and that's how small the margins are. So it's a long road to hit. Yeah.
And that's the thing too, like in the 8 weeks that you're doing these cleans, you don't have to mess with weight too much. You can stay at 70%, but then you add sets, you add reps,
exactly,
decrease
volume.
You know, there's a bunch of different variations that you can do. Maybe you do a bunch of deadlifts before and then do cleans.
Yeah, so just to
switch it up. Yeah.
And like for me, finding different ways, that's the fun part about it. I hit the 300 doing something different than I had done before. I did a lot more. I would do heavyweight and then switch it to volume. So I would do just say it was 85%. I'd do 3 reps of 3 at 85%, and then I would go and do more 3 reps of 12 at 50% of that, just to volume the legs. You know what I mean? So like that's just me finding. That's just me getting to the point where I've pushed myself to fatigue on those movements, and then in the long run it helped me. You know what I mean? I finally got what I tried to do compared to all the other different ways I tried to do it.
Yeah.
So,
what do you say to somebody if they want results right now?
Right now, you're not getting it right now.
Yeah. We're talking about.
Yeah.
Like you said,
what results?
6 months to improve by 5 pounds.
Yeah.
We're talking about 8 weeks to retest 1 rep max.
Yeah. it's a lot, like I said, long road. It's something that, like, if you're not committed to it, if you're not committed to being to your goal, you're never gonna get to your goal. If you're not committed to, like, failing 7 different times to then hit it one day, you like that's the same. Like, all small businesses are probably like, I built 7 businesses, 7 failed, 1 succeeded. You know what I mean? Like, that's how it goes in here too. So.
You gotta think that everything you want is on the far side of hard work.
Yeah.
Like, the more you work towards it, the more you fail. When you hit it, it's gonna mean so much more.
Yeah, exactly.
If
Yeah.
it comes easy, you're not gonna learn anything.
Yeah, I was when I finally hit that 300, like, I was so happy. Like, there's times where I tried, like, I would even, like, do crazy different things. Like, I would try, rather than trying to hit 300, I'd try to hit 305 or something. You know what I mean? Maybe mentally make it a little heavier. Maybe I'll put more into it. You know what I mean? Like, I even tried everything, and eventually I hit it. But it was it was a long road, many different avenues on that road, and I got there. But
I think the big, like, it comes with consistency too. You can't be hasty or just kind of easygoing with how often and at what weight you do these lifts. You have to be very deliberate.
Yeah.
You gotta say, hey, like, when you show up to the gym, like, you're putting work in.
Yeah.
You're not going through the motions. You're not greasing the groove. You're getting after it.
There's a quote I like. It goes, "Don't complain about results you didn't get for work you didn't do."
Yeah.
You know, like, and I like that because it's like, people will like, you may be here, but what percentage of your effort are you giving?
Yeah.
There's I understand there's days where you don't feel great, you're tired, whatever, you were sick last night, or you slept like shit, but you're here. If you're here, give 100%, give everything you have that day. Leave here feeling like, I didn't fucking leave anything out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you'll hit all your goals. Whereas if you just come in lollygag for fucking 45 minutes and you're like, I did 12 reps of overhead press, and I did 20 pounds when you could have done 25.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you do? What's the point? Yeah. You know, like, if you want, we can just have coffee on the couch instead. Like, you know.
Yeah.
But just let me know so I don't have to be prepared for you and stuff. You know what I mean? Like,
reminds me of something I jokingly say when I play games on with my friends. Like, sometimes they want to play, but they'll get on and play games with us. I'm like, hey, listen, you're here, but I need you to show up.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you're not contributing to the team at all. Like, I need you to, like, pull your weight.
Yeah, just you being a vessel, an empty vessel here, is not helping anybody.
It's taking up space.
Yeah.
Causing confusion.
Yeah. Confusing everybody. I think that was a good breakdown of our workout today, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know if you get much content of people breaking down their workout that much.
Yeah. I look forward to doing this more often.
Yeah, I think maybe every 2 weeks we can do something where we are half on the floor, half up here. Maybe next week we'll do again just up here, and then from there, like, because then get a little bit more time we got to schedule, you know?
Yeah.
Schedule conflicts.
Yeah.
Things like work.
And personal life, work-life balance, you know?
Yeah, work-life balance, baby.
Yeah, buddy.
But yeah, thank you for listening.
Yeah.
Listen to us bullshit about what we love to do. So
if you didn't like it, leave a dislike. If you liked it, leave a like. Subscribe.
If you didn't like it.
Hit the bell button.
Ching ching, baby.
And share it with your friends. If you know someone who's struggling with power cleans.
Yeah, or even just working out in general. Like, send them our way, and we'll get them straight.
Yeah, like, we don't have all the answers, but we have a different perspective.
Yeah.
We're going through it ourselves. Like, we're not coaching from the sidelines. Like, we're in it.
Yeah.
So
we're in there.
So,
thank you. Merry Christmas.